beautiful selfish babes. It is your girl Olenike OC here, bringing you another Selfish Talk podcast. And today I am introducing Ashley and Cortney from the Hood and Holistic podcast. Say hey.
Hey.
And so I really wanted to bring them on because, okay, so you guys don't know this, but I don't follow anybody on Instagram on Olenike OC page anymore, but I'm following people on my Selfish Babe page. But when I used to follow you guys, and you guys should follow them, I just like what they're about. I love the love they show one another. They are a married lesbian couple, okay, doing a damn thing, being hood and holistic, okay? And so I just like the love. I literally love the love that they show. They're so cute. So yeah, I gotta follow them for real. And we'll definitely have their Instagrams below in the description. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, say hello and comment. But I just really want to invite them on and have a conversation and just chat. And so, as you guys know, anytime I bring on any guests, I really want to get to know them on a deeper level. And I feel like the best way to get to know somebody on a deeper level is, asking what they've gone through, whether it be a traumatic event or obstacle that they've experienced, and, how they've moved through that or how they're currently going through that. And so we're going to start with Miss Ashley. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. A traumatic experience. I'm going to say moving here to Los Angeles. That was the first time I actually realized I was having a depression situation going on. I have had anxiety in the past, but far as in depression, I didn't experience that. And I didn't notice it, but the move from one place to another and just not knowing, not having control over everything. I'm used to having just control over just every little thing in my life.
Yeah.
That kind of put me into this depression where I was just zombied out. It was weird. It was little things very forgetful. I would just not paying attention while I'm driving, just completely pass up my exit, just little things that I'm he brought it to my attention, hey, do you know that you're doing these things? I think you're depressed. And it's no, I'm not. And then I finally yes, you are. You're not yourself. You're not doing the things you used to do. You're not getting into yourself. And I had to pull myself out of that, and being in this space hold on, the dog is he's so
cool. Keep going.
Okay, keep going. So being in the space where I have to be in the house and furloughed, I have to make sure that I stay mentally good, because that's what kind of put me into a depression or having anxiety and things. I've experienced that in the past where I was self-employed.
Yeah.
And that wasn't for me. I had to be busy. The idle mind is the devil's playground. So I know for myself the things that I have to do to stay mentally okay, And so I'm kind of that's where I'm at right now in life.
Where'd you guys move from?
Houston.
Yeah.
Houston, Texas to California.
Houston.
And what does furloughed mean? I just want to make this clear for the self, because even me, I'm just I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It's when your job shuts down, you're not getting paid at all. However, they still hold your position.
So
whenever it does open,
then
you have your job. But meantime, in between time, you're not getting, any income basically.
Okay. And you mentioned that for you, when you were self-employed, you said that wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me in the sense of I didn't know how to keep as busy as I needed to be.
Yeah.
So I have to constantly feel, I don't know, it's so awkward. I want to be self-employed, but I know that I have to plan out my days.
Okay.
So I had to get a journal, and I had to get a planner, because when I wake up, I need to do this, and I need to check this, and I need to be doing this and doing this. Yeah. That's what type of person I am. I like structure in a sense.
Yeah.
And I need that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just be like, okay, what's next? I kind of need to know. And it has something to do with control, I'm sure. Like,
Okay.
that's something that I struggle with, and it's a Scorpio thing or something, I don't know.
So for you, when you started realizing that you were depressed, how, I mean, I know you said you would be passing exits and you weren't being yourself, but like on a deeper perspective, like if you woke up throughout a regular day, how would that look in your depressed state?
In my depressed state, it would look like I would be foggy. So like far as in like I would have brain fog a lot. Just like staring into space, or I'm supposed to be tasking and I'm not. I'm just kind of like I'm just in this like zombie out like stage.
Yeah.
And it's like after 2 hours, my quarter come check on me and like, hey,
she'll be sitting in the same spot.
I'll be sitting in the same spot, like
she wasn't really eating, she wasn't hungry, she wasn't, you know what I mean? It just was like the routine that we were used to in Houston. Once we moved to LA, it totally was shifted. We was traveling a lot and just moving a lot, and we didn't have control of that. And I just was noticing like she was sitting in the same spot all day.
Yeah. And it was,
why aren't you walking around? Like, have you drunk water today?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she'd be like, no, I haven't. So I, and then I'm like, are you hungry? It'll be like 3 o'clock. I'm like, are you hungry? Because I'm snacking. I'm going to eat.
It was like,
not eating.
it was like not getting like dressed up like I like to. Like,
Yeah.
I like to get cute.
Yeah.
Especially like, it's LA. Like, honestly, you can literally run an errand and fall into something real cute, like a whole little set, like a whole situation. And it's like, I wasn't even getting into myself, which is totally not me. And I was just sad. Like, I was just like, on a day to day, I was just sad, but I was like moving through it in a way that's like, I'm not conscious of it.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of it, until it was like brought to my attention. And even still, I'm like, no, I'm not, because I do this and I do that. Like, pointing out the little things that I do, that was like, overall, like, I'm not there. I'm not doing my yoga. I'm not, meditating. I'm not doing like nothing that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how, would you say that you're still depressed? Would you say that you're still working through it? Or would you say that that's something that's in the past?
I would definitely say the depression is in the past.
Okay.
I'm like navigating like some real smoothly right now.
That's good.
But I think it has a lot to do with, I feel like we came to a point of, it was a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah.
It's so many, it's layered. But It was a lot of self-doubt around that time, where I felt like, how I'm gonna do this? I can't do that. A lot of I can'ts, and that also was kind of keeping me like stuck in my mind, just overthinking, like in my head, to where I'm sitting in this space for like this long because I'm in my head.
So not doing the action, just thinking, and then not making any action because you're in your head.
Exactly. I'm in my head. And now it's like, oh, I know what to do. I know the things to do. I know how to like navigate in being just like kind of confined in like the house. You know what I mean?
But how did you get to the space from being depressed and not doing anything to now where you're, navigating smoothly? Because I know that there are currently some selfish babes that are going through that, and that they are confined to their house. And so even though they may have a job that they could be looking forward to, or maybe not have a job that they're looking forward to, how can they get from a space of to where you kind of were to where you're at now? So what did you do? Like, I know you, Courtney had noticed it and you began, noticing it too, but like, how did you get to that space?
You know what? I had to like be, first of all, just real with myself. Like, yes, you have been forgetful. You are passing up, like you're driving terribly. Like you are zoned out. Like you are doing these things. I had to call myself out on like all these things that I'm doing first. Like, yes, you have been sitting in this spot.
Yeah.
When was the last time you took a selfie and felt cute? Like just little things that my normal little, so that was the first step, is I had to like acknowledge, like, first of all, yes, you could possibly be depressed, you know. And then
your word, which one was it?
Were.
Yes, there you go.
I'm only asking this because it's like,
it's
did you say yes, I was depressed, or were you not? Okay.
I was. And
okay.
Thank you.
She said
for
possibly
that.
a word like
yes, girl, call me out. Come on, sis. So yes, I was depressed. But honestly, one of the things so I got this bomb skincare line because my face was breaking out, which is a part of stress.
Yeah.
And I started washing my face every day. I had like this like routine morning and night, and that made me feel good. And it's like something for me to like do for myself, you know, every day.
Yeah.
And it was just literally like little steps like that. Then I started, you know, back making sure I take my B12, which is really good for like the nervous system.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just my multivitamins and my green juice and just like all the like little things that make me feel like normal.
Yeah.
I started doing that. And so eventually I just started like getting back into myself. Like I was unemployed at the time.
Yeah.
So I got a part-time job. Yeah. What you said?
I said kinda.
Yeah. Kinda. But so it was just like little steps at a time, and I just started being gentle with myself.
How do you be gentle with yourself?
Like just with starting off, like with doing the skincare regimen, and just feel like telling myself like it's okay to do absolutely nothing right now, because I am the type of person that feels like I always need to be doing, and that I have to work hard to be successful, or that I have to like bust my ass to like get to this place where I want to be, and that's not true. You know what I mean? So I had to like raise up off myself and like give myself room to like breathe and just be okay in the space that I'm in. You know, even if it's not like where I expect it to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. You're not there. It's cool.
Yeah, I like that. The part about you being gentle with yourself and noticing that it was okay to be where you were, or like, I know that some people have talked about this, like, okay, if all you did today was go wash your face, or if all you did today was take a shower, that's a different space than where you were. And so I like you talked about being gentle, because I do think, especially as women, we can't put a lot of pressure on ourselves onto just being the go, 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 do, especially if you're like an overachiever or like a go-getter. Like I like to describe myself as a go-getter, but have also been learning about sitting still and maybe not doing anything that day that is work related, you know? So I think it's good that you talk about being gentle with yourself, just because I feel like a lot of women are not. And we are go, 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 go. And we may get to certain places in life, but we feel still very unfulfilled. And and I ask this because, like, okay, so what? And this is just a thought of mine as you talk about you going through the depression, right? I feel like because everybody's so used to go, 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 right? Especially in Western culture, we're very used to go, 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 go. In Eastern culture, or some other cultures, a lot of times there's rest. But here it's very, so during this quarantine, I feel like a lot of people are going through depressive episodes because, I mean, I get it. Like some people are literally only in one room for a very long time, especially being in New York, like, you know, very, very small. And so what my thing that I ask is, were people just now getting depressed, or were they so busy with their lives that they didn't notice what was going on internally? And so now we have time to sit with ourselves and really see what's going on inside of us. And when we sit with ourselves, we notice that there's certain things that we have not released that we're still holding on to. And so my thing is, that's my thing, is like, I get like feeling depressed in the moment because we're here. But I also, I question, you know, as you get to sit with yourself and you being silent or you not having anything to do or being bored at the time, your shit's coming up. That's the way that I look at it. I think that some shit is coming up and a lot of people cannot handle it or they don't know how to handle it. And they're going to be looking for people to guide them through that. And I know that that is a very true circumstance. You know, there was a recent girl, I don't know her whole story, but I know it was a recent 15-year-old that had committed suicide recently that I had seen on.
I saw that.
And I know a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, she was probably going through some other things beforehand, and maybe she was. But again, sitting with ourselves, I don't know how her home life was. I don't know what she was going through, but it's just like this time for a lot of people could mean life or death. And I don't say that to be very sadistic or anything like that, but there's some stuff that a lot of people are holding on to that they have not worked through and they don't know how to do so. And so I think the fact that you guys do have a platform such as Hood and Holistic, I think that is very relatable to a lot of people. And I think that the tools that you guys use and share that you guys use in your own daily life could be very helpful to a lot of people. You say you're 35, you don't look 35, by the way. I just say to a lot of people around this age group. I'm 28, but it's just like, you know, people even in their 20s now, you know, people in their 20s, just starting 20s are looking for the things that you guys are offering. And so I think that it's really good. And we're going to get into what they are offering. But I do want to ask you that, and that may be a little personal, but do you feel like, because I know, like you said, well, self-employment at that time may not have been for you, but you just need a structure. And there's a way to be self-employed and still have that structure for yourself. But do you feel like in those moments of you being with yourself, and yes, I get that you're used to a routine, but do you feel like sometimes the thing is the silence is suffocating? You ever heard that? Like the silence is suffocating because we have our own personal thoughts or the stuff that's inside of us that comes up. So I want to ask you, Ashley, do you feel that during that time, stuff came up for you that you weren't aware of that brought you to that place? Or do you feel like it was simply, I don't have a routine, but you mentioned self-doubt as well. I don't have a routine, and here I'm at. This is where I'm at now.
Well, I mean, really what it was is, as far as like when I could work, I was working. So at 15, I went to Old Navy and I asked them, can I work here? He said, come back when you're 16. I had my birthday and I was like, I'm 16. What's up? Yeah. And that was my first job. So since then I have been working. Yeah. And that's what I'm used to. And that's what made me feel stable. And, you know, I don't know, it's just doing for myself. And it was just it was just different. Me not, each time that I have been in that situation of like either being unemployed or self-employed, I come to feel like it just fucks up my whole root chakra. It just knocks it completely off where I don't feel that security. And I feel very inadequate. Like I'm not doing enough. I should be doing more. I should be working. I should be bringing this in. And, you know, it's just literally being like hard on myself. And I guess it stems from some type of fear of like, or whatever I've made up in my mind of what success is and what it looks like and what I need to like obtain it.
Yeah. Do you feel like if you were making $5,000 or $10,000 a day in sales and you were self-employed, would you still feel like self-employed?
No, okay. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Okay, so it's about security. It's about
absolutely.
I understand.
It's about security and the control thing of me wanting to be able to control like that part of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. No, like that's my goal, like to be self-employed and be able to be completely like content and good on a financial level where I'm like, okay, you know, like, of course, like I would love that, you know, but with self-employed, it's up and down. It doesn't matter like what you do. You have, I mean, that's any business. You have your slow times and then you have your peaks and, you know.
I agree with that, but I think that it's still possible. I say that because it's possible because that's
possible.
Now, but, you know, Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit more after this. But I just feel like it's possible. Like it's like, especially where we're going, right? Like, and this is just my little tidbit about Corona and, you know, people looking for money in different types of jobs. It's very smart to get online at this moment. It is very, very smart to get online at this moment. You guys already have Hood and Holistic. It's a spiritual based business. Do you guys follow the Hood Healer?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, I like her. So,
I didn't know you.
So
Yeah, here
she has sent me some screenshots of something she had posted some time ago, and she was talking about predictions, right? And one of her predictions in her journal was, you know, spiritual-based businesses. And any selfish babe listening, spiritual-based businesses, okay? Booming, popping, making money, okay? So I'm just saying, like, you guys already have, like, a foundation of being Hood and Holistic and the things that you guys sell, like the crystals and the journals, and more things that I think you guys can add. And so for me, it's like, I just feel like at this time, and for any selfish babe listening, it's smart to get online. It's smart to think about, well, how can I solve somebody's problem via online? You know, first I can start making it, but eventually I want to get to a place where I can just buy this shit in bulk, somebody else makes it, and somebody else ships it. Because where we're going now, as much as we talk about like the economy and people not having funds and certain things like that, for certain businesses, that's just not true. For certain businesses, things are
people gonna buy it.
People are buying. People are thriving. Hand sanitizer has gone up. Okay, white people. It's not even. It don't have to be nothing related to like disinfectant, but people are still buying shit. There are still. I think this is what I'm
buying stuff off our site, and we not marketing the thing. Like what are y'all doing? Like,
that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, hard times come, but there's still a large population of people that will still have funds, that will still support what you guys are doing. And so for me, that's kind of like the mindset that I have when it comes to my businesses as well. It's just like, there's a group of people out there that's still going to buy my shit no matter what is going on. They still got the funds to support. And so that's like kind of like the affirmation or the visualization that I have for myself and my business. But I just asked that question because I'm like, okay, it is about security. I get that. That doesn't mean you can't get to where you're going to go to, because you're going to get there. But I'm just saying, Hood Healer said, spiritual-based businesses, okay? Right. So thank you, Ashley, for sharing that. I really, really appreciate that. So now we're going to talk to Cortney, and we're going to talk about what have you been through or, you know, currently going through, and share, let us know.
Whew. All right, so I think I've been through like so many traumatic experiences. You could name it, and I've been through it. But probably my most recent thing that I've experienced is learning that I cannot carry our child. So I think it was August. We did our annuals. And I was talking to the gynecologist who actually happens to be the best one in this area.
Nice.
And she specializes in infertility. Just so happened to, didn't know any of this, booking an appointment. But as I was explaining to her the pain that I have when I'm on my period, or even like before my periods come, I let her know, like, I found out that I had like a little bitty fibroid 3 years ago, and that prompted a diet change and us implementing the steams and baths, different things like that. I let her know about that, and she when I was explaining my symptoms, she was like, well, it sounds like you don't ovulate. And she was like, have you ever been tested for this? And I was like, no. So I guess it's a different blood test. She drew my blood, and she said she'll contact me in a week. She was like, I have a portal, you could just check the portal. And when she contacted me, it showed that my levels were like severely low. And so she was like, I have a birth control and I have a hormonal drug to put you on. So I'm like, oh, great. Like, I've tried birth control before because I've always had like these severe cramps on my period. And the birth control, actually, I bled for like 2 months straight.
Wow. Being on
I was like,
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm not doing the birth control. So this time when it came back around, I was like, let me try the birth control. But the thing is, the two pills they worked against each other. So as I was taking the hormonal drug, I had to take the hormonal drug first to start the birth control. And then it would, like, as it would progress, I would still have to take the hormonal drug and the birth control, but it wouldn't stop my period. It just kind of like prolonged it.
Okay.
And so I noticed I was getting like really bad acne in my face, and like I was kind of getting chunky. And I was like, I literally was having like body dysmorphia at the same time that I'm learning that because it's always been, since we ever discussed children, it's always been that I was going to be the carrier. And we never like, you know, diverted from that, because that was always the plan.
Yeah.
So this was literally like, it hasn't even been a year that I found this out.
Yeah.
So it's like all the plans that you've been making for like 7-8 years don't matter right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to figure this other part out. And then she also let me know that it would be potentially cancerous because of the buildup on my uterine wall. So she was like,
for taking those, what would be cancerous?
For not taking the hormones.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, it's literally
so her eggs don't drop.
Yeah, my eggs don't drop. Like I don't ovulate at all.
Yeah.
Like
and
women go through ovulation.
How do you have a period?
I have a period, but it's super painful. It's just like a lot of blood and pain. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't drop though.
Nope.
Wow.
It's the weirdest thing. I think that's why I was on a cocktail, like a medication cocktail to try to balance it out.
Yeah.
But it just was affecting my body to the point I wouldn't even look in the mirror. Like I'm like, I didn't really care how I felt. And I had just cut my hair, so it was like I loved my haircut, but it's like I don't want to look at myself. And then I'm one of the people, I love walking around naked, like, and my body wasn't physically changing. Yeah. But insides, I'm like, my insides are not working. And it just was messing me up for a while.
Yeah.
And then I started having these really bad dreams about my father. And so, all of this is happening simultaneously. Like, I started having these I told Ashley, I said, will you be okay if I'm not taking the medication? Because her big thing is like, if this is going to help you, and, you know, don't say you're infertile. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. And I'm like, I hate taking Advil. So it's like, I don't want to take this stuff. And I could tell it's breaking my face out. And like, I just don't like the way it make me feel. And one of the side effects of the pill was like depression. And I had started working an overnight job. So I'm like, these two things, everything at once, something got to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'll work the job. I'm not taking the pills. Like the pills are done. Like we'll figure something else out. I'm like, it's so many different supplements and stuff I could take for the same thing. I don't have to put the medication in my body. So I'm like, I'm not going to take it. So Ashley's like, that's cool. Yeah. So I'm having these weird dreams about my dad. And Ashley like, do you ever think you're going to talk to your dad? And I was like, no, like, we don't really have a relationship like that. And, my I have like 4 half sisters on my dad's side, but we're all estranged. Like we don't, since I've grown up, I kind of pulled away from them. It wasn't them pulling away from me. So, she called me and she said that my eldest stepsister was dying of breast cancer. And she was literally, by the end of the day, that day, she had passed away.
Wow.
And I end up flying home like immediately. And just like, since then, me and my father have like reconciled our relationship. And I feel like, and I gained like 9 nieces and nephews I didn't know I had. So, but I feel like that really helped with me having to come to the grips of like, the way that we want to be parents is going to have to change and it's going to look different. You know what I'm saying? But I have so much family. I got little ones out here. You know what I mean? I got family out here that, you know, that don't even know me like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just like, to me, that was super traumatic because like at 35, I've been through a lot and I've got through a lot.
Yeah.
But certain things really stop you in your tracks and make you think like, I can honestly say a lot of stuff that I went through, I probably put myself in those situations and then I fought myself out.
Okay.
Well, this, I didn't put myself, like, I can't help the fact that this is what's happening to my body. I can't help the fact that me and my father don't have the best relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now instead of me having to fight my way out, it's like I'm feeling my way through it. And I just appreciate having something to slow me down, because I get over stuff real fast. Like, and then I end up having to heal it 10 years down the line. I'm not gonna lie, but in the moment, I don't have time to sit and think and be sad about this. Like, I don't. I got other stuff going on. That's how I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of appreciate having these things, even to be vulnerable in a different way. You know what I mean? It's always fun when you're sharing like the triumph stories, right? Like, I made it through this, but it kind of humbles you a little bit when you have to really sit with the reality of some of the shit that you go through. Like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of where I am right now. It's like, even with what's going on around us, while I'm grateful to have a job, a little bit, like a little piece of me inside is like this shit gonna change everything around us. You know what I mean? Like, definitely. And I don't really have to stay here. I could probably go do something else. In the meantime, it's not gonna hurt the funds. Like, you know what I mean? Because we got so many things set up. Yeah. We can make money this way and make money this way and make money this way. So it's like, am I really stressing over this job? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I just found like reconcile a relationship with my dad. Like, and it's so weird calling my father and talking to him on the phone. Yeah. Like, and at the end hearing I love you, it's the weirdest thing, because I'm 35 and I haven't heard that in like 20 years.
When you heard that, when he said that I love you, like, do you remember the first time he said it after a very, very long time?
Yeah.
And when he said that, what was your reaction?
I was like, whoa. You know, it just really like takes over you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like a little kid. Yeah. I felt like a little kid. Like, damn, it made me feel 5 years old.
I think that brings me back, because at one point I had like a sit down with my mom. My father had passed away when I was a baby, so I never grew up with him. And I recently heard more about him. Probably like 2 years ago, my mom had showed me like a picture of who he was, because anytime I would mention him growing up, you could just tell when, you know, your parents don't want to talk about something. So at one point I had like a sit down with my mom, and I was just talking to her, and I was just telling her that I said, I don't feel like you love me. Like, I know that you put food on the table. I know you were there, but I don't feel like you love me. Like, you never say it. You're not like, you know, she's not the touchy feely kind. Yeah. And so she was like, why do you think that? And I told her, and then she was like, no, I do love you. But, you know, there was a time where she was fighting me back on it. She was like, you know, I do this. I don't have to say that I love you. And I said, you're right. You don't have to say it. But I'm letting you know, because my personal love language is words of affirmation. Okay. Yeah. So you don't have to say it. I still have to say it. But this is how I'm going to think about it, you know? Yeah. So over some time, she eventually had said it over the phone. And, you know, we can like say to each other now. But that took some time for her to get there. And so for you, I can understand what you're saying, like your dad saying that I love you, and you feel like a kid again, because it's just, imagine like maybe when you were a kid that was said all the time, that at some point it just stops and you don't know why. Yeah. And then when you're growing up, you don't remember the last time you heard it. And so I don't know why that is. I don't know why some parents stop at some point. Like, I never understood that, but I do know when you guys had mentioned, you know, being able to raise your own family in a different way, changing how you raise your kids, right? I know for me, I learned a lot from my personal experiences that I'm like, I'm gonna be a word of affirmation person. I could be very strong, disciplined, but words of affirmation, touchy-feely, like I love you. Like, I knew from my own growing up, was like, we gotta change this. We're gonna do it like this. We're not gonna wait until we're like fucking 20 years older and older to learn about certain things. Yep. So I could definitely get that. Now, in terms of, I was going to ask a question. So with this information, in terms of you working on your womb and getting to a place of fertility, now, was there ever a question of, Ashley, will you carry versus you?
I told her that I would carry.
She was like, babe, don't worry about it.
Like, but I think she thinks I'm like a delicate flower or something. I've had open heart surgery before. Okay. And when you see a little kid that's like a little sickly kid in a little bubble because they got allergies and asthma and like
she's still like that.
That's me.
Okay.
Like, I still go
outside. That's I would have a mask on right now anyway. I already had gotten me a mask.
Yeah. She had a mask way before COVID.
Okay. So I am that person. But I do feel as a woman that I can carry. Yeah. I just feel it like in my spirit, even though like I've been through things with my health, I just feel in my spirit and my body and my soul like that I can carry. So
she's like, baby, she was like, don't like, because that was my main thing was like, but I wanted to have a baby. Like that, I wanted to be, I was like, I'm gonna start a clothing line. It's gonna be so fly because it's gonna be me in it, and people gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, you know, and I just wanted to have, that was like, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm addicted to my vision. Like I gotta see it through. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely like, she was like, babe, don't let that be a stress. Like, don't let that be one thing that weighs you down. Like, it's enough going on. Like, let that go.
And I still don't think she just absolutely cannot carry.
Yeah, she's very like,
because we haven't went to the doctor and they like we went for our Wells woman. Yeah, so we didn't go like we're here to like dive deep in and look at your eggs and just the whole technicality of everything.
Yeah,
we have not done that.
No.
So I haven't ruled it out.
Yeah, I think it's good that you haven't ruled it out. So now, Cortney, so that's something that you're still going through. Are you still on the medication or have you completely stopped? Because
I totally just 86 the medication. Luckily I've been having way better periods somehow. I'm not questioning how or why. I'm just grateful. Yeah. But yeah, I stopped taking the meds. I'm like,
have you been steaming on a consistent basis?
I have not been steaming. I can honestly say I've just been like, I'm gonna be honest, like when I think about California the first year, it's been a lot of like survival mode.
Yeah.
Does like what matters right now? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even thinking about like self-care, like detox. Like we haven't been doing a lot of the things, just getting back into like doing meditation.
Yeah.
It's like a big thing because like you get up and it's like everything is rush. You literally don't have time to just sit down and just be like, oh, okay, let me do what I need to do. So now is like the perfect time, which when you said like people haven't been working, so they going through some other shit.
Yeah.
Like we literally just sent Kofa going back and getting it because we did so much work in between. We can literally go pick and choose what we need for the the moment. Yeah. So it's like I'm getting back to it, but I haven't been steaming consistently. No.
But she do take your iron pills.
Yeah.
And then also
I take my supplements.
I squeeze in
my beet
juice for her.
Okay.
Which because I think like the lightheadedness or like passing out that had to do with like, releasing so much, you need to like be replenishing at the same time. So I definitely like
I'm saying it right. Don Quai. The root Don Quai. It's really good for like women's wombs. It's a Chinese root, a Chinese herb.
Is it? Do you put it in a tea?
I think they may have a tea. I know you can have a pill. Like I take Dr. Axe's multivitamin. Okay, the reason why I like Dr. Axe's multivitamin is because he is into herbs. And so you know how a lot of multivitamins is just the vitamins. Well, he adds herbs in the vitamins. So like my multivitamin has turmeric in it, Don Quai, and like here's a woman's multivitamin that has a lot of good herbs for women along with the multivitamin. And I like that because like he understands herbs. Like he understands it, but he also understands science. So he brings them together, and I really, really love that. And Don Quai is like a really good, like I know the only reason I'm recommending it because if you are taking your supplements, this could just be something you take on a regular every day. It's still a vitamin, but then you're also going to get the benefits of the herb. I do think you should get back on your vaginal steaming.
Right.
I was thinking about doing one recently, and I have to. And then and this is not a sale at all, but I really would suggest maybe one day trying the Goddess Detox Pearls, and I can send you some if you're willing to try it, only because a lot of women have said they have been unable to conceive but they've tried it and they've been able to conceive. They've gotten pregnant, or they've either gotten pregnant. Like one woman talked about getting pregnant, but it was like a tubal pregnancy, so that had to go. But that was years after not being able to get pregnant. So for her, it's like she was able to get pregnant, but she's gonna try again. So like, and the reason I recommend that is because the herbs go straight to the uterus, straight to the vagina, and I would just think that would be something that could be helpful for you. And it may help with your cycles, and I know that your cycles have been getting better and will continue to get better, but that's just a suggestion, and I'm willing to do that after this podcast. But thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have some tea because we want to get into some of these questions. So Ashley, would you say that you identify as femme?
Yes.
And Cortney, what do you identify as? If you
I'm just like masculine presenting. That's it.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend. She's masculine presenting. So my question is, when you said that you wanted to carry, I was very shocked.
Really?
That's different. I've seen it, but I was shocked, and I was like, wow, that's different. So why did you want to carry? Like from you, that's just always been a thing from when you were younger?
Actually, no. I've always wanted to adopt. But just like hearing Ashley's story as a kid, like being a kid in and out the hospital, and then eventually having heart surgery. I was like, this what I'm gonna do. Like I was like, I'm not tripping. I'll be cute pregnant. You know what I mean? Like I think I'll be a very cute pregnant woman. So it was just like, just hearing, like, I'm like, you know what? I'll carry the baby just to not put the stress on her body. So
as y'all know, so I mentioned that I love the love that they show one another, but I love the love that they show one another. The fact that you even said that you're willing to carry just for that reason, you know, sure. I think that's a beautiful thing. And so we want to get a little background on your love story. So when did you guys meet? When did you guys get married? Give us like some information.
We met in 2011.
Yeah.
We got married in 2016.
Yep.
So after 5 years.
Yep.
Yes.
When did you guys get married?
Say that again.
What made you guys get married?
Oh, we had our date. We had our date for years. Like on this day, we getting married. So 2 years in, Cort proposed to me.
Yeah.
And then from that moment, we set our date.
It wasn't even 2 years. It was like a year and some months.
Yeah.
Was it? It was
early as hell.
It was real early. Yeah. And
we set the date
we set the date
that week, and then the date came, and we was like,
it's here. Oh my God.
We were like, hold on, because we didn't have like a big wedding. We wanted to do something small, because really at the time, like, family was tripping. Yeah. So we was like, do we really want to include family? We was like, nah, we'll get married for ourselves. And so we had a small little intimate wedding with like just our moms, and it was super cute.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was special.
You know, like, I want to like be with you for like life. You know, when did you know? Like, how did
early, like before the proposal,
way early. We did a year of long distance.
Wow.
And I figured if we got through that, we probably was gonna be together, because that year was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really know each other. We was getting to know each other a lot. Like, when we met, it was instant like chemistry. But I was only home for like the summer. Yeah. So it wasn't like a long-term thing. We both kind of was like, are we gonna do this? And Ashley was like, I'm down if you down. I'm like, I'm down. So whatever. So I went back to Kentucky where I was going to school, and she was like, the first weekend that I can come out there, I'm coming out there, so let me know. So I'm like, all right. I planned it out after like spring or fall conditioning. When we get like a little, when as athletes, you get like a little time before the season start. After they done kicked your ass for 6 weeks. Yeah. And I was like, you could come out here during this weekend. She was like, bet, I'm booking my flight now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So I looked up, and she was at the airport. I was like, oh shit.
Like, this is real. Like, okay.
And then we did a lot of Skyping. Like, our first year was literally like, we was on just like this.
Yeah.
Like every day. Every day, falling asleep on the computer type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I came home. I finished school in May 2012, and came home. Ashley was like, I'm gonna have an apartment ready. Like, all you gotta do is get here. So I'm like, this. So I think I drove like
together.
Yeah, we went from like long distance to like bam,
moving it. Yeah.
And I drove like 16 hours. We was on the phone the whole time. She was on the phone with me at work. Like
where you at?
Where you at?
What state you in?
And it was like instant craziness once I came home. Like
yeah.
But it's work.
I just knew it. I felt it.
I love that.
I knew she was gonna be my girlfriend first of all before
she did.
She
was getting on my nerves with that.
Really?
Yes.
Girl, shut up.
Like I'll be like, hey girlfriend. Like I don't even like know her like that, but I just knew
she was very persistent.
Okay.
She was like, "You're gonna be my woman."
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you tripping.
Yeah, I got like
well, look where you're at now. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm very cool though. I can honestly say I was like, girl, but inside I was like,
Okay, so this is how I was first introduced to you guys. I don't know how, but I remember somebody has shared the episode where because you guys have a podcast. If you don't remember, you guys have a podcast called the Hood and Holistic Podcast.
Yeah.
And so the episode is when you guys were talking about monogamy and polygamy.
Yeah.
That was the first episode I ever heard from you.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So you guys were talking about monogamy, right? Because you guys are currently monogamous. And
right.
So how do you? So since 2016 is when you got married.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you guys met in 2011.
Yeah.
So it's basically been 9 years now.
Almost, yeah.
So through 9 years of monogamy, like, how do you guys keep it fresh? How do you keep it lively? Like, what do you guys do? Was it just naturally lively?
It's naturally lively. Like, I really feel like me and Ashley, like, both of us, like, going through our whole, like, 20s, we probably were like closet freaks. So like we'll have people that we talk to or girlfriends, but we wasn't just going all the way with them. And so when we got together, we just like was going all the way with each other. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
But it's so weird because our relationship, like sexually, has gotten like better and better and better and better and better. It's just like we just explore each other more.
It's like it's definitely
the
like
intimacy.
We explore each other, and also like, you know, the more comfortable you are with a person, you just down for whatever. So it's like,
let's try this.
Well, shit, fuck it, let's do it. It's like, and we just do. I mean, it don't matter what country we in or where we at. We outside, like it don't matter. Like it's like we married, and it's, even before we was married, we were still like exploring each other.
It's a lot of exploration.
Like, yes. So I think that's what it is, and we have fun. I think.
Not for real. There's no restraints either. Like if it's something that I don't like, it's probably because I haven't tried it. Because I'm real, like this is how I am, you know. So actually, like recently, she was like, "Let me tie you up," and I'm like, "Hell nah, I don't want to be tied up. Like that's not fun for me." Because I forgot what it's called when you like to touch stuff. But I'm somebody that like clay and like sand and like I'll sit and do this in the sand for like hours.
Yes,
I work with my toes. I'm very like that. So I'm like, it's not gonna benefit me to not be able to touch you while we having sex. And she's like, you don't like your church, and I'm like, all right, so let's do it. Yeah. And so she tied me up, and I'm like, so when are we gonna do that again?
Question. So Courtney, how did you get to a space of, okay, I'm like this, nah, I don't think I'm gonna roll with that, to being like, I'm in the bed tied up now? Like, did you feel like, Ashley, you have to convince her, or was it just she was down either way? Because it didn't seem like you was down.
Let me tell you about Cort too. She's hilarious. Like she's a comedian. So a lot of things be like fun and jokey and goofy until it's like dead ass serious. Like, oh, it's popping. So she'll and that's kind of a lot of the times, like, sex just might go that way. We like joking, like, stop, you stupid.
And then it's like, ow.
That's how it
For real.
So it's never like, I'm gonna tie you up, like, and I'm serious. Like, it's I'm about to do this. And then it's like, it started popping. Like, like that.
It definitely took some sacral work though, because like sacral, just like being comfortable with my sensuality. You know what I mean? Like I would say I'm a very like sensual person naturally, but I'm not intentionally sexy. I'm not intentionally sexual. Mm-hmm. And like what I discovered is with the hormonal imbalance, it's not like, at one point I thought I was asexual because I just wasn't like attracted. Like I'm not just gonna have sex with, you know, it's not gonna turn. I don't get turned on like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's wrong with me? But after reading about what's going on with my body, I'm like, oh, that's why. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a little bit more for me to like just get in the mood. Like I'm real not like that. Like
okay,
I'm just gonna ease right into it. Like I'll actually be like, are you horny? I'm like, nah. Like, but we can do it. Let's do it.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if it takes a little bit more, what have you done to get you to a place of like, okay, I'm here now? Because I know that there's some selfish babes out here that's like, well, I feel the same way, but how did you know, how do you get to that space of still wanting, like you feel the same way, but you know you want to have sex, but you just don't have that desire. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think well, in a relationship, it's definitely about like making sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And so Ashley knows that I'm not in the headspace, or I'm not feeling away. She don't push up on me, or she not doing too much. She gives me that space. So I think it's fair for me, like when I am feeling aroused or feeling away, to like, babe, let's like go ahead and like get it popping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I also know that I have to relax. Because I can be very uptight. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in order for me to even get in that sensual mood, I have to just like chill the fuck out. And like, I'm one of the people that used to like take on the world's problems. Yeah. So it like throws you in this bad headspace, you depressed and all that shit. So it's really about like, just let me take the load off. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the house. Like, let me just chill the fuck out and like get in mode. Like, let me drink some wine. I might have to sip some wine and be like, oh, well, let me hit the tree one time. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's definitely things that I have to, it's mental. So I have to completely like clear my mind to get there. And I feel like sometimes when you guard it, plus you think about all the shit outside the house, you can't get it in the bedroom. You can, like, you just not focused on that. But I literally have to be, I learned very early I have to be intentional with sex with her. Yeah. Because she would equate sex with love. And so like if we wasn't having sex, then I wasn't like loving her, or I was looking at other people, or like she didn't satisfy me, or like, so I'm like, nah, that's like, not it. She would cry. Yeah. And I'm like, are you crying because like you think I don't want you, or are you crying because the sex good? Like,
it's literally like, you don't want me. Like you, and that's what it, like, you don't want me.
She's really
like, are you not sexually attracted to me?
And I'd be like, girl, what are you talking about?
Like after I like started to learn her more, I got it. You know, I'm like, okay.
You need to relax. You might need a little massage, nigga. Like, just chill. You need a little
wine. I get it.
So like, now, Ashley, just to interject. So, because I feel the same way sometimes. Like, if you don't want to pop it off with me, I'll be like, is something wrong? Like, what's going on? Because I've been past, so I'm bi. And in the past, I've been married. I was married to a man before. And, like, at one point, we just stopped having sex. It was like, for me, it's like this. Like, in the beginning, like, boom, pop, boom, 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 but then I can get bored. Then I don't want to have sex anymore. And then I'm like I was never one of those girls where I was like, oh my God, the dick is so good. Like, blah, blah, blah. I was never like that. And my friends would always have conversations like that. But I could never relate. I'm like, really?
Right.
Is that good, girl? Okay. Like, I could never relate. I was like, what the fuck am I missing? So then, okay, that didn't work out. That was like the best that wasn't the healthiest relationship, but I've learned a lot from that. Got divorced, and I had got married like at 19, got divorced at 24, and my divorce was final at 24. And then I had met my ex, and you know, we were cool. Like that was a really wonderful, healthy relationship. But during that relationship is when I wanted to explore my attraction to women, because I've always been attracted to women, but I never explored it. And so at one point I was telling him, you know, I know we're together and we had plans for marriage, but I was like, just because we're together, you know, I want to be with a woman on my list. Like, just because we're together doesn't mean this just magically erased off my list. And so him, when we were dating, we were going on about 4 years. You know, I had learned about this woman named Yvonne Whitney. And have you heard about her before?
The sexually liberated woman.
Yes. So she had talked about, you know, she was married, but she was also dating women at the time. And I was like, oh, she's married and currently dating women. We're still together. Wow. So at that point is when I was telling my boyfriend at the time, I was like, hey, I want to explore my attraction to women. And, you know, he was okay with it. And so even if he wasn't okay with it, it was still going to happen either way.
It's going to happen, yeah.
I need to explore all. I like to say for selfish babes, like, for self-love, for me, people say like finding yourself. I don't think people are like lost. I mean, I know some people are looking for that, like exploring. I just like to say exploring more of yourself. And for me, it was important for me to explore more of myself. And so at one point I was dating my boyfriend, and I'd be like, oh, I have a crush on this person, or I have a crush on this person. Then eventually I had a date with my girlfriend, and we had gotten along really, really well. And that was when my boyfriend was like, oh, wow, like this is serious. Like this is not a game for her. Like this is a thing. And so me and my boyfriend, like I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend. And it wasn't necessarily because of my girlfriend. It was because at one point I was dating both of them, my boyfriend and girlfriend. It was time to end the relationship. And at that time, I had seen an owl. An owl is my spirit animal. And I had seen an owl, and the thought was, you know, why are you still with him? Because there were things that he wasn't doing that I learned through my girlfriend that I want all my partners to ever do, not just this person. You know how certain people get into a relationship? And so now it's like me and my girlfriend. And for me, right now we're very monogamous. But we are open to polyamory, where we are open to, one point we understand that we may have another partner, we may bring another partner in, but we understand that, again, like for us, sex is very intentional as well. We understand like energy and spirituality, and so it can't just be any old body. And so for me, with my girlfriend, I've been able to really, really explore a lot sexually, and that has been very liberating to me. Even the fact of like consistently having orgasms during sex, because that wasn't a thing when I was dating guys. It wasn't a thing. And so that was new for me. And so because at one point I was like, I'm not enjoying sex, is there something wrong with me? And I would be really down on myself because I felt like I'm with this person, we're not having sex. Is this how it's going to be for the rest of our lives? That's boring. I can't do that.
I feel that.
So like we're not actively seeking anybody, but we also have the understanding that we may be open to other people in the future whenever that may be. But we would have a discussion and communication about it. It's not just we just gonna randomly bring somebody in. But I'm going back to my point. Ashley is like, for me, it's like I enjoy the sex that my girlfriend gave me. She did some bomb ass pussy. That's just what it is. So if we're not having sex, I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm like that, and I'm learning to have patience. Okay, I'm learning how to have patience, but how did you get to a point of, well, I'm not gonna push it on her? Because for me, it's like a drug on crack. I'm like a person on crack. That's something to say it like that. Okay, so like, how did you get to that point of like, I understand her more, I'm not gonna push it on her?
Because I had to like make sense of it. If this, to me, bad sex is when y'all have sex, like the chemistry is not there, like you're not getting off, like y'all not making that connection. And I'm like, you know what? When we do link up, it's bomb as fuck. Yeah. So it's not, you know when the sex is like dead and it's dry and it's like it's not popping, like you kind of just stop, like, all right, we can just wrap this up. You know what I mean? It was never like that. So that kind of let me know it's not that she is not sexually attracted to you. She might be depressed, she might be tired, she might be sad, she might be sleepy, which that's probably number one. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's so I had to learn, like, this nigga is sleepy, you know? And Cortney likes to fondle, like that's her tea. Like, I don't know if like she's like, okay, I'm like kind of having sex right now, and I'm like, I just like to touch. But like she touch and she like to smell and touch and like, and then I'm like, that's wonderful, but
then you sleep.
She sleep.
Okay.
And I'm like, girl, you just smelled all up in my cat and then rubbed down it, grabbed my ass, rubbed my breast, the whole thing, and you're not
ready. Get you ready. And then now
I'm ready. And she sleep. I'm like, I got you tomorrow though. Cause I ain't gonna be ready. How about that? So it works out. Cause now I'm like, I'm going to sleep as well. Okay. I'm sleeping.
Okay.
So that's how it is, girl. We've been together for 9 years. It's like, it's
and then if we have too much sex, Ashley will definitely be like, all right, we can't.
I close the shop down. Honey.
Really?
Let me tell you something about Cort. She'll jump up and down in your shit every day. If I let her put a little friend on, and she's like, gang. It's done. Like, I'm like, no, you're not gonna jump up and down.
For a week and a half. She need rest. I'm like, girl. She real like that.
I think I just really realized like her little quirks and her little things. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you really is sleepy.
Disrespect that.
Yeah. So basically, you're like, she's telling the truth. Let me just accept that.
Yeah. Like it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with our relationship. It has nothing to do with another person. Like she's literally sleepy. Like it's okay. And then once I really realized I'm going to be with her for the rest of my life, now I really don't give a shit. It's like, we have the rest of our life to fuck. We can't have sex today. That's cool. We don't have sex tomorrow. That's fine. Because we, like, it's there. Like, the sexual tension is always there. Like, we flirt in the house and we...
Very playful.
Very playful. We sex all the time. Like... So it keep it spicy. Yeah, and then even if like, oh my God, we have a whole setup like, ooh, when you come home, that don't happen. But
I might go to sleep.
But yeah, like that was an insecurity.
Yeah.
And I had to like, that's something within me I had to check. So
yeah, I like that because I think for me too, it does bring up a sense of insecurity of just like not feeling like enough. And so I'm glad that you were able to talk about that and, help me as well as help another person.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about the Hood and Holistic podcast. Can you tell us just about what is Hood and Holistic? Why did you call it Hood and Holistic? And what made you guys start a podcast?
Oh, where should we start? Okay, so it started. It was, we were at home.
Yeah, we were at home during Hurricane Harvey. Pretty safe.
Yeah.
And just was talking on IG, just kind of have the thing, the like hands-free rolling while we was just talking about different shit. And a lot of people was listening.
Yeah.
And Hood and Holistic itself, we just used to hashtag that because like I feel like we didn't really fit into the like spiritual communities that we were navigating at the time. And then we also didn't fit in with like the hood shit because we wasn't just on hood stuff all the time. Like even though we both kind of hood, we wasn't on it all the time. Like I'm literally going around my homeboys and we passing the sweet, but we talking about like I'm talking about like loving women and your issues with your mother and it ain't like Cort, shut up, but it matters to me like cause y'all my niggas and I want to see y'all doing good. So it was literally like just the thing, you know what I'm saying, of what we do like on Instagram and on Snapchat. And when we started talking, we noticed like people was really tuned in, and they were like, y'all voices are. This is before the podcast was just like a thing. Yeah, they was like, y'all voices are super soothing, and what y'all talking about, it makes it easy to listen to it.
Yeah,
and it was like the screen was black. Like we'll just put the phone down and just be talking, and people were responding to it, and they were listening. And I'm like, so we've been saying Hood and Holistic though. It's like we've been around like the conscious Black community. Been blackballed from that and back at home.
He wasn't really blackballed.
Shit.
They because we was lesbian.
They blackballed the shit out of us. Anytime you refund my money and tell me I can't attend your event, that was you blackballed us.
Wow.
So we tried that, and then like the Pan-African community.
Yeah. We was just kicking and dabbing.
We were just trying to find our space. You know what I mean? And it's like
nobody
we actually have to create this space because like we're still like women and we still lesbians. You know what I mean? And it's like although we have these practices, like everybody is not going to be just 100% welcoming. So they'll be nice in your face, but it'll be you'll get slighted in ways where you like, oh, so if Cort was a guy, you would have
be fine.
You know. And it was just a lot, like in these communities that we were like meeting, like just organically, and it's like, nah, it's not for us. Nah, it's not for us. All right, we have to make this space, and that's what Hood and Holistic is. Like,
and we kind of extended our reach with the podcast, because a lot of stuff that we was doing is like pop-ups and stuff like that, which is like super local. And so with the podcast, it allowed us to have a fan base in Los Angeles, South Africa, DC, Atlanta, Chicago. So it kind of gave us arms. Yeah. And I don't think we even realized it until we moved to LA and people noticed us. And we like, this LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, people in Houston will walk by us.
Right.
People out here was like, oh my God. So we was like, oh, okay, this is something. So we, like, even now, we are just coming into discovering that weird thing. Because it was super organic. Like, I was begging Ashley for us to buy a mic. Yeah. And she was like, it costs X amount of dollars. And I'm like, it'll be an investment, like, and it'll be worth it. Yeah. And we literally we was bumping heads with the mic thing. Yeah. So I'm like, I think I got a bonus at work. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go buy the mic. We go get the mic. Yeah. And she was like, okay. So I brought the mic home. I wanted to do music at first. Yeah. So she gave me the okay to get the mic, got the mic, brought the mic home. I'm like, all right, we gonna call it this, Hood and Holistic. So people was like, oh, I like that. You know, it was catchy. Yeah. And from that, it just grew legs and started running. Like, I don't even think the podcast walked. Yeah. It started running.
Took off. Yeah.
Like, once we combined like an Instagram following with like listeners, it kind of like went. Yeah. It was like, I'm telling my mom about you. I'm telling my friends about you. All my cousins listen to you. Like, da-da-da. We like, okay. Like, it's cool. Like, so it's a thing. Like, and we kind of like, it's more like a lifestyle. Like, people feel like we always wanted people to feel like they was in our house. Yeah. Like, we was having a round table discussion. Y'all just listening though. But like, it was for everybody. Because I think some of the stuff that we talk about in the confines of our own home, people needed to hear. Yeah. So it was like, and it was stuff we was going through. So it's like, let's put it out there.
I agree with that. I'm glad that you guys started the podcast and started going. For me, when I hear Hood and Holistic, I just think about the duality in spirituality, because I understand when you talk about certain communities and not being accepted. And I just feel like sometimes when we talk about spirituality or anything like that, or being holistic, it's like it could just be in a box, and it could be just very narrow-minded. And so I like that you guys combine Hood and Holistic, because for me, it shows the duality. It shows you do this and do this and still be like this. It doesn't just have to show up one way where all I'm doing all day is saging and doing yoga. Right. But I also like to listen to trap music, or I also like to do this, and you're trying to say, and it's okay. It's not like I have to be like this, and that's it. And I look down at the other person doing this.
Right. Know? Absolutely.
So, I'm happy that you guys started that. Now, what would be some holistic practices that you guys talk about or do?
Oh wow. We have our rituals like that. Yeah, like we have our altar over there, and we have a lot of like holistic like things we do. Just even our diet is like, holistic,
super plant-based. Yeah, we don't cook meat in our home, like just for like our own. I don't know, meat kind of gross me out to cook it. I don't know, it's weird. But definitely like burning your sage and
sound healing.
We have bowls. People know we have jewelry, Ashley Co. We have crystals everywhere.
Literally all over the house.
Walking around outside with, putting your feet in the ground. Your yoga. Me, I do light therapy. We big on smells, so it's certain incense that we have to have in the house. Lavender. We have an herb bar over here. Yeah. Just like things, I would say things to keep us in a good headspace that we didn't even realize were considered holistic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until you get into it, it's like,
you're like, oh, I do that.
We already doing that. You know what I mean? Like when we was thinking about prayer and meditation, or prayer and meditation, or speaking affirmations, it was like they go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like journaling, writing down what you want to see, your vision board.
Tarot.
Definitely dibbling down with tarot. Like, I mean,
all that.
Yeah.
All of it.
I have a question. You mentioned the altar. What's the altar?
The altar that we have is pretty much our sanctuary for our ancestors, where we like pay homage to the people or the spirits that are leading us to our destination and making sure that we're safe.
Yeah.
And keeping us grounded. Okay.
Absolutely.
Keeping us in check.
Yes.
I don't know if people follow the podcast, but on our cover art, we have our mask, which is like all of our warriors, everybody that protect us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some hair up there.
Yeah. For real. Like, and we put money on our altar, like
crystals,
there's
ashes.
herbs over there, like Cort, like set up a plate. If we have dinner, she might leave a plate out, like for the ancestors. So
okay, so did y'all both start that altar at the same time, or was it one of somebody else's idea over like who started the altar?
I think we always said we needed an altar. Like
the altar part, we kind of
came together with it and was like, we need to create this space.
Yeah.
You know? And then I kind of
just adding stuff.
I kind of gathered like meaningful things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and how
we add our own things to the altar.
I was gonna say, how did you come about knowing about ancestor altars?
That would be Ashley. She started reading about hoodoo.
That's true.
And because I'm a logic person, like I'm not thinking about that kind of stuff. So, but what ended up happening was a lot of the stuff that I was into, as far as like the politics and following what was happening in the world,
I knew nothing about,
directly aligned with what she was studying.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, so she would tell me what she was studying, I would tell her what I was studying, and they were like this, but they weren't the same thing.
Yeah.
So she was figuring out like how to come into spirituality.
Yeah.
And I think I was figuring out like, what does that feel like for us?
Yeah.
And we kind of met in the middle of that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what she was like, this is how you do this. And like, she taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even sit still to meditate.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's because you got too much on your mind. Your mind belongs to the world, girl. Like, you got to give up the world.
Yeah.
And go within. And so, yeah, like, I think she studied a lot of
the yoga, and also like meatless, like
not eating
dinner,
meat, incorporating the vitamins, the herbs. Like, she got into all that. Like, Ashley was reading those type of books. And me, I'm reading about like Baiko and Angela Davis, and like, you know, we was doing two different things, but they were like so intertwined.
I was gonna say, it's good that you guys live together though, because then you guys can share, you know, what one is reading over what the other one is reading, and instead of one having to go through those books as well, it's like you guys are acting as a team, you know.
Yeah.
So what book, Ashley, were you reading that got you started? Do you remember?
I actually have it
somewhere.
But it is the 4 seasons of hoodoo, I believe. But she goes through the different seasons and things that you can do during that season on a spiritual level, be it like
reconnect.
Diet, or be it like things you can do in your house, like for an example, like mopping with pine, you know, and opening your windows and opening the door, and like, you know, or just it's just all kind of things where you like, oh my God, I saw my grandmother doing that. Did she even know what she was doing? Because a lot of stuff was passed down to us that came from like hoodoo, and we don't even know it, you know. And it's like just incorporating like those certain foods, you know, certain you know, black eyed peas, and why we ate black eyed peas, and why we, you know, eat collard greens, and like just different teas, like just all these different like things, you know, and that's kind of how I started. And I got like a few of her books. And it resonated with me like so much. Like it felt familiar.
I like that. Like, I'm gonna just for the selfish babes that are listening, at the end we're gonna get that book. And then we're also gonna add some of the books to the selfish.
I'm looking at the book. I can literally grab the book. So, I got you.
I just asked that because, like, you know, I'm always curious to know how people got started on like their own personal spiritual journey. And for those that are listening, selfish babes, so like hoodoo is like African American like spiritual tradition where we use like the roots. People say the roots, but it's using the earth, whatever the earth has, combining it, using your power of prayer and
alchemizing it,
and and making shit happen, basically. That's what hoodoo is, to simply put. And so I'm just always curious to know how other people got started on their spiritual journey. Because for me, like having an ancestor altar is so big. Like I'm super big on ancestor veneration, super big on, you know, providing the food for the ancestors. When you mentioned like Cortney having out a plate and stuff, it's so important. It's so important, especially during these times I have mentioned, like it's just so important to build your spiritual army. And your ancestors are your first spiritual army. And so it's just like, you know, to make shit happen here in this physical realm, you know, they work in the spiritual realm for you. And before shit even happens, a lot of stuff happens in the spiritual unseen world. And when that shit is happening, then we see the physical reality of it. And so for my selfish babes listening, it's like when we want to change shit, going to our ancestors and really building a connection with them is just so important so that we can really see some things shift in our life. And that doesn't mean, especially for my selfish babes that may be very religious, that doesn't mean you're giving up your religion. Okay, we had a lot of Christians that also had ancestor altars. And so I like to say that because some people think, oh, that was work. I can't.
It's important because they don't realize, like when you're at church, I've grew up in the Baptist church. You have altar call. Come up to the altar. You have that. Lay everything down at the altar. Like I've never been inside of a Baptist church that didn't have the altar call. Like at some point of the service. So
the dancing, the singing,
the prayer, the stomping, the dancing, the speaking in tongue, like
they literally like that's one thing that I never did is like bash Christianity because I understand how intertwined it is. It's just a matter of unlearning certain things, you know what I mean? Like looking at one person as your savior versus looking at it within and finding the savior complex for yourself, because we usually have that savior complex for everybody else because we feel like we have to follow this thing, but you don't, you know what I mean? I've been contemplating reading the whole Bible just because I know it's whatever's happening right now, it's already been written. And the Bible is probably the closest thing I could get to understanding some things, which I know a lot of stuff is lost in context, you know what I mean? Like in translation, but
my grandma, who has been passed on, you know, my friend is a wonderful channeler. She will channel spirit, she will channel ancestors, she will channel the great Oshun. And so like she was like, your grandma wants you to read the Bible. I laughed. I said, what? Because my grandma knows my ass ain't motherfucking but I got the fucking Bible. And I was just like, what? And she was like, yeah, read the words in red. Read the words that Jesus said. And then I remember a time again, something that happened. So I called on my friend. I was like, I need you to do this reading for me. Okay, I need to know what to do. And so before the reading ended, my grandma was like, and don't forget to read your Bible. And I laughed because, like, you know, because my grandma is one ancestor I work with very closely. Like she is like the gatekeeper. She is the one that is there. Like I need to be talking to her if I want to make shit happen. And so for me, it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read the motherfucking Bible and I'm gonna read these damn words that Jesus said. And you know, I have been doing that, and it has she told me to do that for spiritual understanding. To open up my spiritual awareness, because she's like, if I have a question, like flip through and find the words in red. And so I will say that I have had some spiritual understanding and some stuff that I just could not understand on my own. And it wasn't until that I read certain things that I got it, that it made sense to my own personal spirituality. But it wasn't like, I'm like, okay, now I'm a Christian now. It's like, no, I'm going to use this tool and I'm going to use it in a way that's uplifting to me, right? Instead of just like, as you said, like, I've been to the spot where I bashed Christianity. I've been to the spot because at one point I was like, not sure what I was. Was I Christian? Was I atheist? Was I Seventh-day? You know, I hung out with a lot of Christians at the time, and I was like, oh, this is not for me. And then when I learned about African spirituality, when I learned about ancestor veneration, I was like, this is it. This makes sense to me. But now being able, even in Hoodoo, the Bible is used a lot. The Psalms are used a lot for prayer, and that's what they would use.
They're literally a spell book. The whole book of Psalms is a spell book.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Christianity is definitely a part of Hoodoo.
They literally like just copied a few of the most important texts and put them in, you know, put it in the Bible with some other things together. And, once you break it down, it's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Very true. But for the Selfish Babes, you know, I have my Ancestors Connecting video on YouTube, so you guys can search that. I want to get into what you guys do. Now, I know you guys have, is it Ash and Co? That's it.
Ash A Co.
Ash A Co. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ash, what is that? Explain that.
So Ash A Co is we make adornments.
Yeah.
Crystal adornments, and we've also have like herbs on there at some point, but the herbs got so crazy because I had it on YouTube and it was scammers coming through, but that's a different story.
Okay.
But
scammers.
Ash and Co is like those are our offerings. Like it's so difficult to release our crystals in the world. Because once we're
currently hoarding so much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Once we get our babies and we cleanse them and everything, it's like, you know. But that we create adornments.
It's like our first.
That's
our first thing that we started doing together was like creating jewelry. Yeah. And so we went through a period of time where we weren't creating anything, and somebody reached out to us and asked us, could we make an African mask?
Yeah.
And we was like, yeah, we can make an African mask, but we can make it happen. And when we made it, it like rekindled our spirit to like create. And at the time we were exploring healing crystals and using them for certain reasons, or I would say for certain
like protection.
Yeah.
We would put them in our pockets so we would wash them,
or we would lose them,
or we would eat. I had a little puppy.
Baby.
He'll eat them. Like I had to get it out his mouth, and so we decided like, oh, we already make jewelry.
Let's see if we can incorporate the two.
Put them together for ourselves. It wasn't even to sell. It was so that we could wear it.
Yeah.
And
somebody reached out to us again and was like, hey, I got a friend that does events, and he would love to have vendors. And we was like, this must be a sign. Because ain't nobody been checking for our jewelry for 2 years.
Yeah.
And now we done got back to back. He said, if y'all get inventory, y'all can vend by January. And so I think it was November. And so we just started going hard. And we got so much love. He was like, can y'all come back next month? And so we didn't put it down.
We just kept going.
We've changed how we present it, you know. Where we used to do a lot of pop-ups. And it's funny that this is happening because last year I was like, Ashley, we got to get away from doing pop-ups.
Yeah.
Because we have a following online now. We can get online and we can sell.
Yeah.
And so Ash was like, she was really like torn with the idea of not doing the face-to-face.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put everything on everything that we have on the site. We're going to put it online. Yeah. And we just gonna market it and we're gonna see what it do. And we did tremendously well.
Yeah.
And like from there it was like, all right, we got a new direction in how we gonna move the jewelry. So we don't have to like hoard everything to one spot and get there and there's nobody there, or like, you know, pay for the event mainly, and people don't buy your stuff. So it's like we have too many people that really like what we do, and we're too cool to not be seen. Like, what are you doing? Like this stuff is too,
that's a wonderful way of thinking.
Yeah, like this jewelry too cool to not, people don't see it. Like, so
so it was
it's
really
like our metaphysical space.
We was like, going through like the journey, and then was kind of like bringing people in with us.
Yeah,
because they like, so explain this. What does this do?
When we started doing the crystal jewelry, people wasn't really like on it, you know, and it was like, well, what is this and what does that mean? And so we like basically hipping everybody to it, even like cleansing the space.
Yeah.
So like we were, showing people how to cleanse their space and what they could cleanse their space with. So it wasn't only just crystal jewelry,
we
had
sage thing. We was wrapping sage.
We was wrapping our own sage, drying it out. We had our yoni steams.
Yeah.
We've had detox teas.
Detox teas, yeah. Bath soaks.
Yeah.
So just a place to completely like just zen your whole space and your whole aura out.
And it was specifically for us.
Yeah.
Because when we were going to find these things, we would have to go into people's space and you might not be greeted.
Yeah.
Because you
you
know what I
mean? Like those metaphysical stores.
The metaphysical stores are white. Like black people we couldn't find nothing. Yeah. And so it got to a point before we moved, people was like, y'all need a store. Yeah. We was like, we'll be back. Like, they still. We were like, we'll be back. And I mean, all this is happening, so I'm definitely thinking the opportunity is there for us to go back and put out our stake in the ground in Houston.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like a need for us to create a space where Black people feel comfortable even discussing spirituality.
Yeah.
On a different level. So
like Ashley and Cortney and Hood and Holistic, they go together.
They brother and sister.
I have a question. So okay, so if I went to does Hood and Holistic have a website?
Yes.
If I went there, what am I gonna see?
Just like it's like more like blog.
Yeah.
And where you could actually see the podcast. You can get the link to where you can see it, and then you can like listen to it on whatever platform you want. Okay. And we also have like we want to develop an app at some point. Yeah. More like a dating app, but it's like you could go in there and create a whole profile and like talk to people like a forum.
Yeah.
Like interactive, just in case like Instagram or Twitter or something like that crash, and our people still want to come, talk and see what we doing. We got a whole like little forum in there you can talk to us.
I like that.
Yeah.
And now, what's the website if I wanted to get the sage and I wanted to get the jewelry?
We don't do sage anymore.
Okay. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, because it got. I remember I told you it got a little crazy.
We stopped doing like.
Okay.
But far as with our crystal adornments. That's xoashayco.com.
Okay, I'll add the website below. Now I want to get into the journals that you guys have, because first of all, like the fact that y'all do business together, I think is cool. And there was a point where I was doing business with my ex, and we're still businthis partners. Like we're still great friends to this day, and we're still business partners. But just like being able to navigate as a couple, but then also navigating as business partners. And I think that's cool that you guys are doing that. And so. What's the name of the journals and what started you to create that?
Okay, so it's a whole nother journey with the journal. Okay, so Love Yours is what the journals are called.
Yeah.
There's one that's for couples and one that is for self-care. They're both on Amazon.
Yeah.
If you type in Love Yours, we're gonna come right up.
Okay.
What happened was we were married for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, really tough. The first year of marriage was hard. So we ended up going to marriage counseling. And from there, we got these tools. Like, we need to communicate better. We need to, we need to journal. We need to express how we feel. We need a place to write these things down. So everything that, once we got out of that space, completely out that space, we like, our people need this too.
Yeah.
Like, we trying to get basically everything that has worked for us that keeps us like communicating well, keep us like having longevity. I know a lot of people like Black lesbian couples, they don't see that. They don't know how to navigate in those spaces, and they're not sure about spirituality or, how, all we're known for is like being sexual and U-hauling and dating from this person to that person and drugs and like all these negative things. Yeah. And so it's like we have to give you guys these tools that we don't have. So we had this and even with some journals, it's like he and her.
They're very gender-based.
Very gender-based. You know what I mean? And so it's like we literally have to create things for us.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. Like we create.
Love Yours is like a genderless like journal to where to men, to women, people, somebody
non-binary.
Yeah.
If y'all feel comfortable talking to each other, we're not gonna make you uncomfortable trying to do it. So we just completely removed all of that, and we took some questions that we had for each other that came up in therapy, that came up after therapy, before therapy, and we just like put them all down, right? And so we started going through them. Like, we need open-ended questions to where people will conversate after they will start a conversation after they journal, and we want it to be interactive to where if I do my journal today, you gotta do it today too. Yeah. Then you read what I wrote, and I read what you wrote, and now we can, it opens up the lines of communication. So Love Yours was literally like a tool that we needed.
Yeah, that we needed first.
That people ask us so many questions. We was like, you know what? We need to get them something that they don't got to ask us. They can ask each other. Because a lot of times you want to ask your spouse, but you feel like, I don't want to ask them that. Yeah. But this is going to force you to like
answer it.
Yeah. Like,
and it's like, we dug a little deeper. So it wasn't just like, what's your favorite color? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, what's your childhood traumas?
Like, what's something that you still hold on to?
Yeah, like,
do you resent me for anything? If so, why?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's important because I think that we had got so far in our relationship that the stuff that was really eating at us and bothering us, it felt taboo to talk about. Mm-hmm. And so the first time that we was opening up a lot of wounds, it was in therapy. We had been together 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Was the wound mainly based in childhood?
No, okay. I can't say that. But that it starts there. Everything as a result.
That has kind of to do with like character and understanding who you're with. You know what I mean? Like if you don't understand that part, then you don't understand me as an adult and how I navigate through life. And I probably also don't understand myself either and why I do certain shit and how I do it. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, well, your words of affirmation because you didn't hear that growing up. Mm-hmm. Or you did and you're used to it and now you don't hear it at all. But it all like goes together and just going back into understanding like why you are how you are.
Yeah.
You're just not this like 28-year-old person, you know? They say we just like grown kids.
Yeah.
Very true. What made y'all decide we're going to go to therapy and we're going to save this versus calling it quits? That first year.
Oh, because we loved each other. That was no, I'm going to be honest. In therapy, the first thing our therapist said is, he said, well, y'all love each other.
Yeah.
So that's good. Because he was like, you got some people that come in there and he like, I don't know why the hell
y'all even together.
Y'all like, don't need to be together. So we loved each other. That was never in question.
But it was like something we wasn't just getting.
Bumping heads. And it was a communication issue. And it was an issue with not attentively like listening and actually like taking it in and sitting with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and not being offended by it.
Yeah.
Like having those conversations where you don't have to be defensive because I'm not attacking you. I'm just merely expressing how I feel.
Yeah.
You know? And so we had to.
I think that's a whole learning lesson in itself. Understanding that the person that's with you and love you is not attacking you.
Like, not attacking you at all. Like, this is not an attack. Like, anything, we started seeing that as more like more room to grow versus like, oh, I got to get defensive. I'm finna argue with you because I'm not. And I was like, no, I don't want to argue. Like,
I feel like we needed a mediator.
We did.
Like,
that actually are two alphas. So two women that's real, like, I'm used to being in the front. So I had to learn how to be in the back. And her be in the front. And she also had to let me be in the front. You know, because she wasn't in the front. You know what I'm saying? So it was literally like a power struggle on everything.
Yeah, we definitely needed a mediator. And we did not have the tools. Yeah. So we went to marriage counseling after we got married. He was like, no, y'all should have got here before y'all got married. Mm-hmm. So we could have been equipped with these tools beforehand. Yeah. So
there was a medium that showed up in our life too.
We did have a medium that showed up in our life randomly out the blue.
She showed up first. And then she actually told us, when I'm done with y'all, y'all never hear from me again.
And we've
never heard from her again. But we rolled into therapy.
I think about her often.
Me too.
Yeah.
I miss Kim.
Yeah.
She was all the way in the UK.
She messaged me on YouTube, and she lived in the UK, and she was like, I hope this is not awkward. And then it was a whole thing.
She popped up and disappeared.
But she channeled like Courtney's uncle.
Yeah, she was doing some
like it was a lot.
She was like, I think I'm more so here for you. And I was like, you probably are. Yeah. I was not interested, first of all. She was Ashley's friend.
Yeah.
And then she said something one day. She said something one day, and I was like, she was like, I'm actually here for you.
Yeah.
And when she started talking about my uncle, I was like, oh, okay, you here for me.
Yeah.
I like that you guys are eventually open to that. Like, I think people that are honest and good character when it comes to, they do have this gift of being able to channel spirit and being able to tell you what it is very helpful. Just very helpful for your life. Yeah. But I think the Love Yours journal, like the fact that you guys made it genderless and it's not just he and she, and anybody who is loving anybody can feel good. Like, that's amazing. And y'all need to go check that out on Amazon.
Yes.
And you can quarantine and journal with your boo, because a lot of people are saying, are saying there's some divorces that are about to be happening.
It is. I be hearing them outside my window. Like, girl, wearing him out. Like, I never heard these people. And I be like,
arguing. Girl.
Y'all, let's come out together. So instead of arguing with your quarantine bae, y'all need to get together. So y'all need to go to Amazon.com and y'all need to search Love Yours and get your journal, especially if you really love yours.
Yeah.
Get the fucking journal, because I think
exactly.
That's cool. A lot of times, people don't talk about even want to go to therapy, or they don't think they don't have the time, or they don't have the funds. I think this can definitely be a great alternative to couples therapying together at home, especially on this quarantine. So I think that you guys creating that is just super, super special. And just to wrap this up, I just want to say, okay, so you guys show so much love to each other on Instagram, and I just love that. And one question is, what made you guys so comfortable doing that? Because for me, I'm like, I don't know. I think back in the day, like on Facebook, it would be on Facebook. On Facebook, I would post who I was with and post little photos. But after, like, on Instagram, I don't do that. Like, I may post in the stories, but I don't post, like, on my page. And then if I post, I'm not tagging. So, I'm not tagging. So, the thing is, like, what made you so comfortable? Because I'm always thinking, like, posting, like, who I'm with and stuff like that. Like, even if I don't tag, sometimes I don't want to. And I always think of, what if something happens and I have all these photos with this person, and then, the whole taking down, because I've been married before and I've done the whole taking down this process, taking down the whole album. And so I personally don't do it anymore, but I love to see love. And I love that you guys show the way that you guys take the pictures or just show love to one another and express your love on social media. I love to see that. And so, when did you guys start doing that, and like, how did you feel comfortable to even do that?
It was definitely like gradual.
It took some time.
Because we definitely had the pictures of like just our hands holding each other's hands, like
the legs,
just like the legs crossed over.
Matching shoes.
Yeah, we went through that phase. But after a certain time, it's like you just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You don't think about it either. Like it's not a thought. I don't think about like posting pictures with my wife, or even when we were, let's take it back 5 years ago. I don't think about like, should I post this? Like, no, it's like, I am proud to be a woman. So
I think Ash was more into the pictures than I was.
Yeah.
Because there was a point in time when I was like, I don't want to take no pictures. Like, I'm just off that. And then I just started taking selfies last year.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to take selfies.
Yeah.
But like the pictures of us became a thing for me because I didn't really see like representation. And then I would see so many people saying like when they post a girl, they lose followers. Really? And hell yeah. Like even one of the biggest like painters, lesbian painters, said when she was posting her wife at first, she would lose followers. And I'm like, damn, that's fucked up.
Atlanta and have bought some of their artwork.
Yeah. She said that, and it was like, damn, like, so I make sure that I'm putting it in everybody's face. Like,
so if you
don't want to be here,
if
leave.
You're not a supporter, like, you can just leave right now. If you're not a true supporter, because this is like a huge part of my life.
Yeah, like, this is everything. Literally is like a toss a back and forth with us. Like, we don't hide anything from each other. Like, when it comes to, like, we just started like separate projects, right? Yeah. But we still are very like, it go through her first, or it go through me first. Like, so this is my first line, so everybody gotta see it. I feel like Ashley's, like, our relationship, I look at it as artwork, and it's just worthy of being displayed, not in a braggadocious way, but more so like I'm proud of something I created. I didn't have this when I grew up.
It's black love, and then like you just didn't see it. Like,
throw it up there. Like, we can't hide ourselves. Somebody actually told us that, like, y'all gotta step in front.
And then at some point, at one point, like, we will post here and there, like, cute little pics here and there, but at some point it got to a point where it's like, no, y'all have to post all the time.
Yeah, y'all
need to get from behind the scenes and get in the front, because we didn't want to be in the front.
Somebody
we didn't want to.
Yeah, somebody told us that.
Somebody told us
he
that.
He lives in Houston, but he's from here. Yeah. And he was like, y'all gonna go far together, but y'all can't be shy to be in front of the camera.
Like,
he was like,
because we wanted other people to model our stuff and other people to put our jewelry on it. Other people,
but like still give what we give.
Yeah.
We wanted them to look like us and do what we do.
Yeah, like we literally, our first photo shoot was a couple,
a straight couple that looked just like us.
One, two brown people, one had locks, and we did a photo shoot of them. And in some scenes,
they look like us.
It's like some scenes you may think it's us, but it's not. So it's like we had to come out of that.
It was like,
to where it's like, no, y'all need to
make it tick. Like,
and that's when we actually start to see like the growth and the recognition. Like,
okay, this is what people want to see. Oh, this is nothing. It's easy.
I like that you guys show your love. I think it's so beautiful, and we're talking about not just black love, but like black lesbian love, and making it look so fucking good. You know, I'm trying to say love. Like, I love that, because honestly, I'm not saying I follow a lot of pages, but it's just like I don't remember seeing a lot of pages like
that.
Celebrated black lesbian love, but that was, and I agree with him in terms of being consistent, like seeing it over and over and over again. You know, I'm trying to say, like, I haven't seen that, and so I agree with him in terms of being in the front and just being unapologetic and just showing who you are right away. And if people don't like it, they can just be like, okay.
Yeah, because we like our families.
Exactly.
Our families treat us like we came from each. Like, I could go chill with Ashley family without Ashley. She could go to be at my mama's house for days without me. Like, I don't care what the world think. Like, the people that matter the most, they cool.
They love it. They love it.
They want to see it. Like, my mom was like, I'm so glad I get to see you on Instagram because y'all moved away. Like, she loves it. She eats it up. So it's like,
so who else matters?
Why would I care?
Yeah. Y'all need to be following them. What are you guys' Instagram say? I'm gonna post it below, but like, what are each of y'all Instagrams?
Mine is the Seafood Diet, DCEEFOODDIET.
Okay.
Mine is Word to My Locks. That's WORD 2 My Locks.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then y'all need to definitely listen to their Hood and Holistic podcast. Where can they listen to the podcast?
On everything.
Hood X Holistic on all your favorite platforms at SoundCloud, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts. Did I say SoundCloud? Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, Google Play. Wherever you listen to the podcast, you can catch us.
Yeah.
And whenever y'all buy these Love Yours journals from Amazon, y'all need to like take a picture with your boo thing, and y'all need to DM them and be like, hey, we working on ourselves in quarantine. And it's really helping our relationship thrive. Okay. So Selfish Babes, y'all really need to check that out. I think that's totally dope. I just want to say thank you, Ashley and Cortney, for being on the podcast. Is there anything that you want, any last words to say to any Selfish Babe listening at this moment?
What you got, Ash?
I think we got it all. I mean, we got it all out. You was a good interviewer.
You're great.
Oh, thanks.
Selfish Babe, y'all in good hands.
Yes.
Right here. Thank y'all for listening.
Really appreciate you bringing us on.
No problem. All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.